How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're not necessarily going to be doing a list video or like talking about automotive news or anything that I kind of normally do. Today we're going to be looking at a short little thing written by CNBC, and essentially it's a list, and the list is comprised of 10 vehicles that are supposedly have like the highest average expected lifetime when it comes to mileage. Now, as you can expect from this title and this thumbnail, I'm going to be using this list not necessarily as definitive proof, but kind of like backing up my own opinion as to why I like Toyota so much as a brand. And I think that anyone out there looking for just a daily driver, I think that you kind of can't really go wrong for Toyota that much. I mean, I'm not trying to make this video sound like a Toyota sales pitch or anything like that. There's certainly brands that are undeniably more reliable than others, especially when you look at your Toyotas and your Hondas compared to other brands out there, which I won't really name because I'm sure that someone out on the internet might get triggered by that or something. But before we get into today's video, definitely be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new here. I post new content daily. And also, if you've already been subscribed, click that little bell icon down below. That actually turns on post notifications and gets you guys notified every time that I do post a new video. Again, as a smaller car channel here on YouTube that does post new content daily, all that stuff really does help me out a ton. But for today, again, we're going to be talking about my own experiences with different brands and like different cars. And I have to say that like my family throughout my lifetime has owned vehicles from Nissan to Chrysler to Pontiac to Isuzu. Like, we've had a few different brands, or more than a few different brands, run through my household. Me myself am an S197 Mustang owner. I have a 2008. It's got just around 108,000 miles on it, and it's had its ups and downs here and there for sure. But honestly, like, the S197 Mustang, it's pretty reliable if you take care of it. Now, that is a big if. Now, when people are, or like I should say normies, like not necessarily car people, but when the average person is looking for a daily driver, a lot of times, let's be real, like they don't necessarily do the proper maintenance on it. They'll get your oil changes, they'll change out tires or whatever, but they don't, actually like drain fluids, flush fluids out, and do a lot more of the, I guess, advanced maintenance or complicated maintenance that some car enthusiasts might subjugate themselves to do. Now, with that being said, I am simply looking at Toyota as a brand that satisfies the need of the general public. And when I'm speaking of the general public, I'm talking about cars, like I said before, where you can kind of just get in and start them and they'll just run and you don't even have to think about them at all. Like, they're essentially pretty much idiot proof. And I don't want to offend anyone out there, but that's really what a lot of Toyotas and a lot of Hondas are. For me, if I'd have to choose between the most reliable brand, I would choose Toyota. That's the reason why I'm making this video today. However, Honda, in my own opinion, would be a very, very close second. And there's a few other brands out there that are just like off the top of my head that I think are pretty reliable. But those two, I feel like, supersede all the other ones that I'm thinking about. So without further ado, guys, now we're going to actually look at this list. This was posted on CNBC.com. It was under like their financial section. So I found it a little bit interesting. Again, me being a car channel, a bit like a car YouTuber, I guess, I'm always trying to look at automotive news, not just from, car brands like, your Car and Drivers, your Haggerty's, your Motor Trends, and things like that. Occasionally, Fox might post something, CNN, CNBC, or like your mainstream news networks, which, yes, they're all biased in their own political sense, but we're not even getting into politics here. We're just talking about cars. But yeah, so today we're going to look at this list here, and as you can see, 6 out of the 10 cars on this list are going to be Toyotas. Now, I already had this notion of Toyota being extremely reliable, but this list kind of just cements it that much further, because if you look even at just this thumbnail right here, apparently the top reliability, I'd have to dispute that a little bit. The BMW logo sitting at number 3. That's just my own opinion. But with Toyota and Lexus at number 2, Lexus, I've said this time and time again, Lexus is my favorite luxury brand behind Aston Martin, but Aston Martin's kind of on a whole different level when it comes to luxury. But if you're talking about like everyday luxury, if you were to compare like Lexus to BMW to Mercedes to Infiniti and like some of those brands, I would have to say that Lexus is my favorite, simply for the reliability factor. And if you don't know, you probably should know that Lexus is Toyota, just as Infiniti is Nissan, just as Acura is Honda. So anyways, moving past that a little bit, here are apparently the 10 vehicles that I guess you can buy new. They said that they made this list from 2 million used cars on the road between January and October of 2022. So I don't think that this list is specific to any single model year. I think that this is a very like general broad list, because just like looking at them, I know some might not necessarily make some sense, but looking at like all the different generations together compiled into one main average, I think that that's what they kind of did with this list. But anyways, going right down, we get the Toyota Sequoia at the very top of this list with a potential lifespan of around 296,000 miles, just under 300k. Then you've got the Toyota Land Cruiser, Chevy Suburban, Toyota Tundra, GMC Yukon XL, Toyota Prius, Chevy Tahoe, Honda Ridgeline, Toyota Avalon, Toyota Highlander Hybrid. Now, right off the bat, although, yes, I'm kind of kissing up to Toyota in this video, I have to say I'm very, very surprised that there is no Honda Civic or Honda Accord in this list. I just feel like if you were to compile all the used cars out there, there's some Honda Civics out there with a ridiculous amount of mileage put on them, and they're just still chugging along and going. Now, yes, there's plenty that have been raced out, and there's plenty that have been completely beat to the ground by your local high school Fast and Furious wannabe, but there's plenty of Civics still out there. There's plenty of Accords still out there. I'd have to say that probably the two models that I think are a little bit surprising on this list definitely have to be like the Toyota Prius, just because I feel like being a hybrid, there might be some things that might be finicky about it. And also the Honda Ridgeline, believe it or not. I mean, I know, again, Honda is a very reliable brand. I personally do like to hate on the Ridgeline a little bit because it's an all-wheel drive truck, and I have heard some bad things about them, but again, they are Hondas, so I'm sure that they can last really long. GMC Yukon, Chevy Suburban, and Chevy Tahoe are pretty, I was pretty surprised that the Suburban was so high, but then again, when you count for like the older generations of the Suburban, that is a little bit more understandable. But that's pretty much all I wanted to kind of go over today in this video. I do have to say that, again, in my own personal opinion, I think that this kind of backs up my thought process as saying that I can confidently say that Toyota is probably the best brand for a go-to, just reliable daily driver beater car if you're looking for one on the market. And all of their new models, like, they haven't really decreased in quality over the years, and all of their new models are pretty much like pretty reliable too. Now, yes, time is going to be the main teller of that, and they haven't really been able to prove themselves yet. But if I were to be betting, I would have to say that a lot of your new Toyota models are going to be able to last well into the six-figure category when it comes to mileage. But anyways, that's pretty much just going to be it for today's video. If you stuck all the way till the end, definitely be sure to leave a like, subscribe, click that bell icon, all that stuff that I said before. All that really does help me out a lot. Also, if you have stuck to the end, in the comment section, comment down below what is one vehicle that you drove in your life with the highest mileage, like on the odometer. For me, I think it was like my friend had an old Civic, and that was like around 300k or something on there, and that was pretty ridiculous. It was essentially falling apart. But for me, that's the highest mileage car that I've ever driven. But thank you guys so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Like always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed today's video, click on either of these links right here to watch a similar video from this channel, or click on the little circle link right there to actually subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. I do appreciate all the support, but thank you for sticking to the end of this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.